Hello, everyone. You're going to start piling in now. While you join us, please do jump onto the Q&A and give us your name. Tell us where you're joining us from. This is Rod Larson, CEO of Shopply. I'm joined by Stacy Vasilovich, who helps us with so many things. Hi, Stacy. How are you today?
Hey Rod, how's it going? Good. How are you?
Fantastic. We have three guests with us today. The first one's on the screen. Zara Malstedt, how are you today?
I'm well, Ron. Thanks for having me here. Great to be here,
So,
Don.
so excited to hear from you and hear about your product and your backstory. And everyone is very anxious to meet you and all three of the vendors here. So we're going to give it some time and let some people pile in that are able to join us today. And of course, anybody who's not able to join us today, they'll be able to take part by watching the video off of our YouTube channel, which will probably be posted tomorrow, I would guess. Right, Stacy?
Yep, that's correct.
Fantastic. So take a moment, folks, and tell us where you're joining from in the Q&A, and we'll jump on and say hello to you as we see that pop up. We'll be starting in just a minute. Let's call it a minute from now at 6:02 as I see it on my clock. So we'll start about 6:03, Zara, and we'll do the presentation from there. All right, so let me jump in here. I see several of you coming in now. And real quick, I don't know exactly what time you are planning on leaving, Stacy. I know you've got another commitment, so probably should take over or you should give up host when you leave, right?
Perfect. I'll do it right now.
Okay. All right, folks. Thank you for joining us. I see several great names that I recognize, but appreciate everyone joining us. Got someone who's brave enough to tell us where they're calling in or joining from Texas. So thank you for joining us from the home state of the head office in Texas. The rest of you, please take a minute, tell us where you're joining us from. And we have three great vendors here joining us tonight. And this is a great hello for everybody joining us live and the rest of you joining us after the fact, listening to it on YouTube channel for Shopply. This is Rod Larson joining you from New Mexico, actually, in my hometown, where I grew up, taking care of some family stuff this week. And happy to be with you on a few Zooms this week. This will be the last one this week before I head back to Dallas. All right, a couple other people joining us. Hello, Allison from Australia. We're happy to have you here. Thanks for sharing your name and where you're calling from. Hello, British Columbia. Thank you as well for joining us. We'll go ahead and get started in about 15 seconds. Zara, you're on notice, and we'll start with you. So thanks to everyone for joining us tonight. We love having these vendor Zooms. Give us a chance to introduce to each of you, whether it's live or whether it's after the fact on a YouTube watch. We just want to make sure you get a chance to listen to our vendors, hear their backstory, see why they're so passionate about their products and passionate about Shopply, and then you'll also be able to understand how you can promote their products. So we have with us three great vendors. The first one that will be joining us, you can see on the screen, Zara Malstedt. Zara and I have had several conversations early on when she was joining Shopply as a vendor, helping to get her store set up with her and some of her members of her team. And she was just very advanced, very forward thinking, and took the bull by the horn. She was really easy to work with, excited about the product lines. I have her products in my home in Dallas. Don't have them here with me, or I would flash them on the screen and show you. Fantastic products, great story. Zara, we're so happy you decided to spend some time with us today, but we also know you have some time constraints. So we've got the happy chance to have you go first with us. So why don't I just turn it over to you and go ahead and start your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Rod. Thanks, Stacy. It's really great to be back here again. We've already done this once, and I think I did a quite in-depth intro on water and how we need to start looking at water. But I guess I just want to say, first of all, thank you guys for building this platform and for giving us this opportunity to share our products with the world. Because I think a lot of us have these incredible spaces of information and knowledge that we're here to share, and to disseminate the information widely through a network like this is amazing. So as Rod said, my name's Zara. I grew up in the US actually, and I'm from New Hampshire, spent a lot of time in Hawaii, and then migrated over here to Australia, where things started to unfold for me in a really big way. I started to work with people who were developing metaphysical technologies, and it just kind of landed in my lap when I got here. So I started to understand a lot about cell health and how mitochondria play a huge function in our development for health and well-being, longevity. And that started about 16 years ago for me. And since that moment in time, when I started working with one of these inventors that just came on my radar, he was a quantum physicist and started to transform the way I looked at life. I got my first sense of frequency and understanding how the benefits of energy can work for us. So I remember him shaking out his hands like this and going like that to me. And I was like, was blown away. I never thought of myself as a sensitive individual. And all of a sudden I had these it was like radar just beaming at me, and I could feel the pulse and the wavelengths of energy. So that was my introduction. At that point, that inventor was working on some huge quantum healing techniques in the medical industry. And so I have some of those devices myself and have used them and have applied them. And when I started to learn about how energy works, how frequency works, my life changed, my health changed, everything about like the signals I was radiating changed. And then all of a sudden what happened, I was propelled into these layers of understanding of how to work with the human body, how to work with the human skin, the head, the brain. And so metaphysics is my forte. I work psychically, I work intuitively, and I work in a way that's very different than most people function. What was shown to me probably 5 years ago was how to use the frequencies of sound as radar, so to speak, and to interpret those signals into water, specifically the water molecule, to help it vibrate at a higher rate. Now, what came with the understanding of the sound frequencies and the sound waves at the same time were these very specific minerals from a concentration of biotite in Japan. And they had been scientifically proven to very easily purify water. So fluoride, heavy metals, all these different viruses, parasites, bacteria, PFAs, all the stuff that's in water that we don't see, that actually has a massive catabolic effect on the body, our health, our longevity, our well-being. And so I started to dive into that knowledge of water. What is water? How does it actually transform us? What was missing from water? What was added to water? And how do we go about restoring water to its full potential? And so I started to work with these people who knew water very, very, very well from the scientific ground up analysis basis, but also from a frequency, energetic, and spiritual side basis. And then what I've done is I've married the two, because you can't separate the science and the spiritual knowledge and the frequency and the understanding. So what I've done is put it into a bottle. It's called Life Effects Living Water Droplets. And at the very basic function, it purifies what filtration will miss. And so I've got a little sample here. What this does is anything that was a dissolved solid in the water, be that a heavy metal like lead or copper from your pipes, or fluoride or chlorine that's added, it's going to take any of that dissolved material and take it and coagulate and flocculate it as a sediment at the bottom of your water container. Now, just practical application, if you're going to be drinking this water, you'd want to have it in like a 15-liter, 5-liter container that has a tap at the bottom. I think in the US we call them Suntea jars. Over here, we have a lot of spring water containers that come in 15-liter with a tap at the bottom. And what I personally do is I will put Life Effects in that 15-liter container and then let it take care of anything that the filtration process has missed. Now, the other thing that's happening here is that we're getting a restructuring of the water so that it can hydrate the cell wall. So the cell wall, the cell membrane, is such an important part of our cellular function. We don't even know about it because it's just one of those things that's not talked about. But if that can function freely, we can let water and toxins in and out, so it doesn't necessarily matter what we absorb. Our body's always going to be able to free flow it from the cell. So that's what Life Effects will do. It will take any water, it will restructure it because of the minerals. Let's get just very scientific basics. Because of the minerals, it restructures it, it will purify that water, and then that water will assist your body in functioning optimally. Now, when we talk about cell health, for example, we're looking at not just the molecular structure of the cell. We have to look at the frequency of the cell. Is the cell surrounded by pure light, love, or is it coming in contact with a lot of negative energy? That can be self-doubt, self-harm, criticism, you arguing in your home. All of this stuff matters to a very, very, very high degree. Words have a lot of power. Sound has a lot of frequency. And that frequency transmits into the state of health of our bodies. And our bodies are missing this one critical thing. It's called self-care. And so if we have this energy of love that's within the cell wall and within the cell structure, we're going to start to feel better. We're going to start to be happier. We're going to start to live longer. We're going to start to anti-age. It's not just about the antioxidants or the electrons themselves, right? It's going to come back to you and what you are doing and what you're saying to yourself. And so all of this energy that may be harmful, so to speak, it can start to be transmuted with life effects. That's what we've found is occurring for people, is they're starting to lighten up. They're starting to find a bit more happiness. They're starting to find a bit more health. And it's not just because of the water alone. It is because of the sound waves that we are very specifically placing in the water. Our intention is very clearly to assist humanity to rise, to assist us to rise to our fullest potential and to our peak. And that, look, it's a transformational state that we each take on for ourselves, but we start where we're at. And what Life Effects will do is it will meet you where you're at. So some people are getting the benefits of Life Effects just in the form of hydration. They're starting to feel their cells hydrated. They're not thirsty anymore. Some people, especially if they've been heavy drug users in the past or been a lot on pharmaceuticals, they may actually smell their urine for a couple days. Some people might get a little bit of a headache for the first few days as their bodies start to hydrate and their pineal glands start to hydrate again. Other people will feel nothing at all, but usually people will feel well over a certain amount of time. Now, that's nothing I can guarantee, because what you do in your own time and in your own space, obviously, that's your own thing. But what we've found is that if people are doing most things right, meaning they're taking care of themselves or nurturing themselves, they're giving themselves good food, exercise, nice thoughts, they're really going to feel the cells optimized. The baseline understanding, though, that I just want to impress is that water is not the end-all be-all. What is self-care and self-love. We're using water, though, as the mechanism to transport that in the body. Remember, the cells in the body, they're alive. We are a living, beating organism. And so this organism is functioning mostly on water. If you look at leading edge science, they're showing 99.9% of our bodies are actually made up of water molecules. So volume, it's a different proportion, but if they're looking at the molecules of water, they're looking and saying we're at about 99.9% water molecules. And these molecules will reflect how we feel. So when we put in heavy metals, fluoride, chlorine, all this stuff that's going to keep the body down, we're obviously not going to feel as well. And so the whole purpose of water in the first place is to transport nutrients to the cells, move cell waste out. But if the water itself is not fundamentally hydrating, if the water itself is not fundamentally strong in mineral content, if the water itself cannot fundamentally penetrate the cell wall and assist the body in using its original mechanisms, so to speak, then your water is going to fall far from short. So that's the overall view of why Life Effects can really start to assist the life. As far as how to use it, I'll actually play you a little video, because it depends on where you're at, what water you're using. And I know I'm just going on and on and on. There's so much to share, and I know we've got a short amount of time. So here's a video that will pretty much cap up exactly how you can use it with whatever water you've already got. And from there, we can probably do, if you've got any questions, Rod. I'm just going to screen share. Let's see how we go.
Sure.
You know what, Rod? Can I ask you a favor? Because I think that I don't have.
Do you need
anything on my
permissions? There you go.
Okay, so if you go on to the Life Effects
You should have the ability to do it now if you have it on your computer. If you don't, there you go.
Are we up? Okay, great.
Yep. Yep.
So now let's do this.
How to use LifeFX living water droplets in your daily life. Mix 1 to 2 mils per liter or 1 to 2 teaspoons per gallon of LifeFX with any fresh water. Let the water sit uncovered for 24 hours to off-gas chlorine and chloramines, then filter. This method catches the neurotoxin fluoride as well as other nanoparticulates missed by standard filtration. While we recommend starting with hydrogen, ionized, spring, or alkaline water, you can add 3 to 4 drops to a glass of any fresh water for an upgrade. Life can be a wild ride. Stock LifeFX in your emergency kit. There is no expiration date if stored out of direct sunlight between 5 to 38 degrees Celsius and 40 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Pets love living water, and you can create a healing spring in your own bath. 1 ml LifeFX to 1 liter of water will create living water hot tubs and swimming pools. Here's to the power of our cells and water that helps them thrive.
So essentially, you can use LifeFX with any water that you're currently using. There's ways to optimize water. LifeFX is not the end all be all. Hydrogen, I always recommend strongly. I recommend to get your water from the earth, from the ground if you can. Spring water is fantastic to start with. But if all you've got access to is tap water and that's all you're ready to use, great. LifeFX will start to help restore that living material, that living content to it.
I love it. A couple of quick questions for you. So I see various sizes back there. I'm hearing the story and the detail behind it. I'm guessing the various sizes are just for economic sakes. If you want more and you're going to use more over a year, it might be better to get a larger bottle. Is that true?
Absolutely. So it really is based on the size of your family,
Yeah.
how many pets you have. Pets, we've got some incredible testimonials from pet owners and some videos where pets just are like beelining and drinking so much of LifeFX when they have the option to drink either. So it will depend on that. I use spray bottle and I miss my plants like that, just the leaves, once or twice a week. Plants love that. And that's still the 1 ml to 1 liter dilution. So one of these bottles, that's a liter bottle, that will last one person about a year. So that's massive. That's something that I would recommend if you've got the option to just put it in your emergency kit. There's no harm. And then if you do need to drink highly contaminated water or just get water out of the stream or whatever, you are going to be able to do that. And hopefully that's never used, no expiration date, pass it down to your kids, right? And their grandkids and all. Then we have the 250 mils, and that's a good one if it's a couple for a month's supply, and then 500 mil for a family for a month's supply. Single person, 100 mil, that's great for a month's supply. And then we also have some sample packs. So sorry.
Is there a reason, Zara, that the dropper bottles are in an amber or a dark glass? Is that just because they're dropper bottles and there's no other reason for that? Like they don't need to be
for that.
Okay, got you. You said, I think in your notes, no direct sunlight and a temperature controlled range was pretty broad. So the only reason is that's the dropper bottle delivery.
It's literally the minerals can be at LifeFX itself. The liquid can be at any temperature, any range. It's more the bottles because we are using HDPE here too. That's where we're concerned about temperature, so to speak.
Gotcha.
And so if you stick a plastic bottle in direct sunlight for a couple of weeks, you're going to have an effect. But the minerals themselves, there's no issue.
Outstanding.
I'll just say quickly, Rod, we do have some sample sizes available on the Shopley website, and we've got packs of those. So if you are an affiliate, an influencer, distributor, and you want to start your network out, that will give them 20 liters of living water. And then I find it an easy way to convert people. If they're ready to take that plunge, that's a good way to start. The 50 mils are also a good way to start. If you wanted to go about, doing your life and getting more people interested.
Fantastic. Well, we appreciate the time. Let's ask you a couple of real quick questions so everyone knows. First of all, you do ship out of Australia, correct?
We do, correct.
And you ship all through Australia, but you also are open in major countries around the world. Is there a limit to the location for you?
There is only a limit based on what I can activate on the Shoply website. So right now, and I'll do some more over the next couple of weeks. Right now, we've got Australia, New Zealand. We have the US, Canada, and all of the EU. If you have a location that is not there, please contact me because we can work something out. I have someone that's in Thailand and he orders, we just do a little shipping thing, but he orders through Shoply and we just work it out in the back end system so that he can still receive the product. So just as an FYI, if your country's not there, please still touch base with us and we'll work something out for you in the meantime.
That's fantastic. I happen to notice on the list that there's some people who are viewing that are either in other countries, other regions not mentioned, or actually have teams in other countries or regions not mentioned, specifically in Greater Asia or Greater China, and they may have great interest in your product. So I'm certain that they'll be reaching out to you. And we also have an opportunity for you to perhaps store some of that in a Hong Kong warehouse if you choose to do so, and sell that product through to the China market. So I would say reach out, have contact with members of the Shoply team, wherever they are, regardless of what market. Reach out to Zara, tell your teams to reach out to Zara, and so they can create that connection. Once they've done that, then they can decide with Zara, can they get the product there? And then, of course, just reach out and have Zara say, okay, well, look, I want to open up markets, and Zara knows how to do that. She'll put new countries in there. She'll tell us, we'll make sure it's working. So, Zara, thank you. Anything else to add?
No, I am starting that process though with Rachel already on the Hong Kong warehouse. So we're in discussion
Outstanding.
about that. So
Very,
with
very
any
cool.
luck, give us a couple months and we'll be all over Asia too.
Great.
So thank you.
Very nice to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you joining us, Zara. Everyone, this is Zara from LifeFX. She's been terrific. She's been one of our very early vendors, has been with us through thick and thin, and we really appreciate her time. Here's her second presentation on the Zoom with vendors, and we really appreciate it, Zara. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Rod. Thanks so much. Thank you, everyone, for having a listen.
All right, next up, we have somebody who's been very, very patient with me specifically as we've been working out some of the details for us to have different products that are service or e-learning or digital type products available on our website. This is Mark May. Mark is one of the principals. I think I'll let Mark tell his story about the company and his backstory about Sitelytic. Mark, thank you for joining us, and thanks for your patience as we've gotten things going in the beta 2.0 for the Shoply system for you specifically. So thank you.
Right. Yeah, no, thank you guys for having me. This has been, like you said, it's been a journey, and there's been a lot of patience on a lot of people, a lot of areas. You know, you guys had to be patient with me to build out certain things, and so you know, I think that's sometimes the key to success is being patiently impatient. You know, we're always trying to move forward, but we can't really lose our grip. So no, it's been a great journey, and I appreciate the relationship for sure. I don't know whose bright idea it was to put me after Zara, because she's amazing, is she not? I mean,
she is amazing.
That's a great product. The preacher in me wants to go ahead and applaud her. So everyone watching, just go ahead and give her a round of applause. But
Done.
yeah, so to just kind of dive in, I'm Mark May. So my story is probably not dissimilar than a lot of people who's in services and stuff like that. So I started in about 25 years ago in the car business, got out of high school, kind of fumbled my way through. And it's funny you said you're from New Mexico. I found myself living in New Mexico for a few years in a little town called Lovington, of all places. Sure. Yeah, sure. Man. So that's where
north of Hobbs. I know where that is.
I went to college in Hobbs, New Mexico. That's right. Yeah. So you know where I'm at. So yeah, that was kind of where I discovered that I like tacos for sure, you know. So it's my love for Mexican food kind of took off. So yes, just spent time in the car business, and you know, if there's anybody on the call that's ever in the car business, you really only have two options if you're going to stay in the business: is to move up or move out. You know, you very rarely see career people continue in sales, you know, because it's hard on your back, hard on your feet. You want to either become a general manager or a dealer or an owner. So because of that, you know, I had to make some decisions of what I was going to do. But I knew while I was in the business that I wanted to make my job as efficient as possible. Just there wasn't the technology available, 20 years ago that there is now. So having that car dealership knowledge, I kind of moved out of the car business, went into some insurance products, sold insurance to the car dealers. And through that, really started to fall in love with technology. And ultimately, a few years ago, that's kind of what birthed Sitelytic, is my love for the car business, my love for technology. So we built this product more specifically for car salesmen, to give them an opportunity to build a networking or some sort of AI-driven technology to help move their business and interact with their clients without them having to really be present. So as funny as it sounds, we built it for car salespeople, and somewhere along the line, it never really took off for car salespeople, because we started getting bombarded with realtors and contractors, and we have network marketers out the yin yang that just followed up with us and said, "Man, we gotta use this product. This is second to none." So ultimately, that's kind of a long story short version of where I came from and what spawned Sitelytic and how we were birthed into a company and what we are now. So really exciting. It's been fun.
Oh, that's cool to hear.
fun.
Very, very cool story. Share with us about the product and how our customers and the customers of our customers, the customers of our members, can
That's
promote
right.
this product.
That's right. So being in network marketing for several years, tried different companies and products. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I very rarely found a product that I didn't like, which was probably to my demise, because then I was trying to sell 4 or 5 different companies at the same time, and it was just never really working. Well, we started discovering that even though none of these companies are bad and they all have great technology, but statistically speaking, 99% of everyone who is in network marketing either reps multiple companies, or they have a side business, like maybe they're contractors or realtors, or they work a full-time job. Here I live in South Louisiana, and a lot of people here are in the construction and in industrial type of professions, right? So they may have a day job and then working something on the side. And so when I discovered that, we built Sitelytic, and the reason why I'm so passionate, if you can't tell, about it, is because this is a piece of software that will allow you to not only run every aspect of your business, but it'll allow you to run multiple businesses, all with just one installation. And we've been able to bring it to you at a very inexpensive price. So for $97 a month, you can operate. So just picture this: if you are an affiliate marketer, network marketer, something like that, and you're looking to scale your business, you're one person. Well, our software can emulate an entire team, because we have AI-driven software that's integrated already into our system that will communicate on your behalf. Whether you're sleeping or not, it doesn't matter. It will run your business for you. So what it's done for me is, when I first launched, it was just me. I had nobody else. We built the software. I've got a team that kind of supports the software, but they're not salespeople. So how am I going to make more sales? So when we built this out, we built it with the intentions of, it needs to have an objective. It's just that simple. What's the objective? So when a client contacts me, the objective is really simple. We need to set an appointment, or they need to buy something. It's really that simple. So my AI drives them in one of those 2 trees. They're either making an appointment so we can meet with them, or they're buying something on my website, and there is no other options. And so that's really what spawned building out our automations. And then within about a year, we were able to build out to where you can now build out as many websites as you want to build inside of our dashboard. You can build out as many funnels, as many landing pages, unlimited automations. We have all of the conversational AI that's built in. We're integrated with all the ChatGPT, the latest. We pay big bucks to make sure that we stay with the latest and greatest technology.
Yeah.
We've also just added a social media management tool. So now you can replace, so if you're using HubSpot or Salesforce, but then you're also using Hootsuite to manage all of your stuff. And look, those are great companies. I never want to talk bad about them, because I use them for years. But what we wanted to do was stop paying $1,500 or $2,000 a month to run our business. And we want to have one piece of software that's going to do it all. So we now can replace all of that, because we have our CRM. We also have our social media management. We have our web development. We have all of our email campaigns and automations, that was the word I was looking for. And then we also, we have invoicing. So if your business requires, like if you're selling this to a contractor or someone that needs to send out invoices, all of that can be done through drip marketing and through campaigns, and will automate whatever that amount is that they owe. It will automate that until they pay for it. And so it's really having like a back office, a sales team, a marketing team all in one. And then we just added within this past year the ability for a lot of our people are doing exactly what they're doing right here with Shoply, which is they're building online courses, and they want to have these certifications where our software can facilitate that for them. So it's been a great journey. I mean,
that's fantastic story, and I love the functionality. I'm not sure if we will do this on this presentation, if you'll show us any of the functionality, but if not, tell us a little bit about how someone will learn how to use it. Do you have videos on your storefront, things like that? Explain to them. And then one particular question I do have deals with localization, languages, capacity right now for your software, and then what else will you be doing to broaden that? We have members in 58 countries right now, in different languages, and we want to make sure that they can access tools that are good for them to use in their language.
Absolutely, yeah. And I never want to say that we're going to work everywhere, because we are building as we go. But we have people on staff, or we have subcontractors that we have help us build some of this stuff out, because we're currently, I mean, without even expanding into the Shoply network, we're already currently in obviously US and Canada, and we have the UK and other parts of Europe, and we have a couple of clients in Australia. So we've kind of already branched out worldwide in multiple language speaking. We can facilitate anything pretty much in your South America. So it's just really going to be about most of the languages, especially the common languages. We have already changed our program to be able to facilitate that with a click of a button. However, if we run into my brother, he lives in Spain half the year, so there's like 3 languages that they speak, or really 4. And then he was telling me about Catalan, and I'm like, I don't even know what that language is, but it's very popular there. So we make sure that even if there's local dialects, we try to hire someone that can help build certain things out for people. So we try not to ever say no. Are we perfect? Absolutely not. But we try not to ever say no, because we want to make sure that we can help you become successful. And I think that's what makes Sitelytics so unique, is that for all of our affiliate marketers that are watching, anyone who's maybe selling with a network marketing company, that this is one of the first products that can help you sell more product. But then in addition to that, you can go sell it to almost anyone else. So now you're able to kind of double dip, and now you're just it really works no matter what facet you're coming from, or location for that matter.
That's fantastic. It was always one of our visions to have products that were valuable to them to build their business, but also something they could sell B2B, really, to anyone else that needs to build their own business, and regardless of the business type. So I love that. I love hearing the stories about different types of vendors, or different types of clients of yours using it in different parts of the world. Of course, anyone that's on this call, and anyone that are on the Zoom or watching it live or streaming it from YouTube, they will be able to watch and get an understanding, and they should know, because they're part of Shoply, that they can reach out to you directly on your storefront.
Absolutely.
Send you a message and get some questions asked if they like. Tell us a little bit about videos or other training things that you have up or intend to have up on the site, so that people can get a really good idea of how they will use it, what the benefits will be, etc.
Absolutely. So for the Shoply website, it's kind of a never-ending update. We just updated some of our pricing, and what I'll do is I'll kind of touch on there's 3 different packages, and it didn't dawn on me that because I understand it, that I just thought everybody else knew what it was. But we have a complete setup package. I've had someone approach me just yesterday that they love the $97. They're going to run everything, but they were like, I'm watching your videos. It all makes sense, but I don't have time to do it. So we've added another package in there that's $2,900, and it's a one-time fee. You only pay that one time, but that's my team will go in there, and we guarantee 21 days or less. Your complete account is set up with a new website, new landing pages, funnels, automations. We just build everything out. And so when you're reselling it to your clients, you can resell that same package as well. But that's why there's 3 multiple packages. So we have the 97, which is an all do it yourself. And then we have the 997, which is we roll our sleeves up and we control all of the marketing for yourself or for your client if you're reselling it. And that's going to include all your updates for your website, all your SEO, search engine optimization stuff, unlimited everything. We do send out, 2 email campaigns and 4 social media posts per week. We can customize a lot of that for you. So we really try to give you 2 separate packages, because not everybody wants to do it themselves, and they do have a little bit larger of a budget. So we want to make sure that we can facilitate that. So what's coming down the pipeline for Shoply is we are adding training videos for 2 separate things. It's going to be a sales training and also a usage training. So all of our usage training, we have that embedded into our CRM. So if you are a client and you come aboard, as soon as you log in, there's a training tab and it has a video for every area so you can walk through it. But we're going to also include that onto the Shoply dashboard at some point.
Well, that's all terrific. Mark, you've been outstanding. I appreciate the patience. I'll be jumping on to get to know Sitealytic a little bit more myself. And I love it. I really am very excited about the fact that our influencers can go through and they can actually use it themselves and get a feel for who they know in their circle of reference, or the people that they can talk to that might have the need for it, even outside of our business at Shoply, which was always very important to us. So giving them the opportunity to go, especially the fact that it's an all-in service option for people, right? So that's a very, very cool thing to be able to rep out there and to show people. So it's really, really exciting. I think it's great. So really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to share? New stuff? One of the new videos coming out? When give us a little bit of that, and then
so most of your training videos are being shot as we speak, and I'm going to be honest with you, I hired someone a lot prettier than myself to make these videos. So I don't feel like I'm photogenic, so I'm cutting that out. But we are, hopefully by the end of the month, we're going to have about a half a dozen, maybe 7 or 8 training videos. And what we're going to do is train on certain areas, not just on the technology, but how to pitch it, how to introduce it, how to talk, little touch points. So all that's going to be done in the month of April. All of the other videos are pretty much already done. We just have to figure out how we want to skin them up and put them in there. But one thing that I am totally excited now, this is going to be something that's only available for US-based businesses for now. We're still trying to work with Apple to try to kind of work our way through this. But effective 3rd week of April, maybe the 4th, and I really even hate to say a day, because just my luck, it'll be 2 or 3 weeks late. But we have finally finalized our integration with iMessage. So now all of our SMS automations, the automation part will still be through automations, but through our dashboard, you will be able to communicate people and get rid of that green bubble and throw in the blue bubble. I know for Europeans and maybe Australians, I'm not sure. My brother lives in Europe, and iPhones are not as popular there as they are here in the States. So I know when I see a blue bubble, I'm more inclined to answer that or read through it. So we're integrating the blue bubble into our system, and it's going to hopefully make a big difference for our text messaging campaigns.
Super cool. Mark, thanks for joining us tonight.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it. And
absolutely,
don't hesitate to jump on the vendor content channel, right? Make sure you generate some content there and post it up for all of the vendors to see. Would not surprise me if some of the vendors start buying your product as well.
I would love it.
Yeah. To them. So make sure you jump on there and add some to it. Folks, thanks. Thanks for spending some time with Mark. We got another guest getting ready to join us, George Cardozo, who represents a product called Success 55. First of all, you got to tell me how to say it, because I've been reading it for so long, George. I want you to tell me, do I just say success? Do I use the number 55? Tell me how I'm supposed to say it.
Success.
Success.
Actually, it's great to be here, Rod. Great to see you. And hello to everybody. So success. Give you a little Reader's Digest on the story of that. Obviously, success has been gone forever, pretty much, right? I mean, that's very common. So when I met my partner, Agustina, which you met at Nick's place, so it said 55. And I'm like, and she basically said, well, I couldn't get success, so I got the 5. So when the brain just focuses there, it's pretty much success. But then I got to reading, and it seems that 55 is something that I could use very well for marketing, for sales, and all that. So we're building a system around the 5-5.
Very cool.
So yeah, so then that's coming soon. You know, I know that you were asking
Yeah.
Mark about tools and all that. We're building a lot of tools, and I'm going to focus that on 55 simply because it's there. So I might as well
Yeah.
take good advantage of it, right?
Well, that's right. Well, let me give a little more backstory to our friendship so that everyone knows. I've known George for some years now, and when he found out that I was working with Nick and we were together with some of our other colleagues, Ron and others, starting Shoply together, we reached out. We talked to each other. We were actually connected by one of the key leaders here in the company. And it was, of course, easy for us to say hi again after having known each other for some 4 or 5 years. And then I have since met his partner in his project, Success Coffee, Agustina, who is lovely. And frankly, she's the powerhouse behind the brand, if we're being honest, aren't we, George? So,
Yeah.
so really outstanding to get to know you both. And I'd love you to spend some time telling the story about Success Coffee and maybe even showing some images, showing your storefront, whatever. And if you'd like me to bring that up while you talk, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, great. Okay, so yeah, I have let me get first glasses on. Age
During the
doesn't
call.
happen, right? So let me just go. So do I share?
Yeah,
I
share
can share,
screen.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So let's go ahead and get going here real quick. Uh, this here and that there. Okay, perfect. So there's the 55
Yeah,
right
we see
there.
you. We see you.
All right. So yeah, so it's really interesting. First of all, I want to get started by really I just commend everything that you've been doing, Rod, Nick, Ron, Stacy, your whole crew, and every vendor here. It's just so exciting. I was just listening to the two vendors previously, and they're just so incredibly different. Everything that is coming here, so I'm very very excited because I really I caught the vision when I met you here in Miami, and I can only imagine when this is going to be a year from now. So very exciting times, and all of you that are here seriously looking at craft future for you here with Shoply. I mean, you're definitely in the right place doing the right thing. So for me, wow. Look, this says it all.
Great.
Right? Like, who doesn't drink coffee, right? Actually, if we focus here real quick in this map, uh, there's 2 cups a day consumption of coffee here in the United States for almost 70% of the population, and me being Latino, I mean, we live with soccer and coffee. That's it.
Uh-huh.
It's very seldom you meet somebody that doesn't drink coffee anywhere. So it's an incredible market. And just to give you a couple of stats on the side, and you can just read along with me because this is like really important to give you the big picture here. So the size of the market is valued at about $224 billion globally, according to Grand View Research. And this is actually in 2023. It's obviously is growing by 20%, especially with specialty coffee, which is where we sit with Success. But the consumption stats is really staggering. As I was mentioning, there's over 2.5 billion cups of coffee that are consumed every single day, right? Every single day. So
Wow.
we're talking about 400 billion cups annually. So there's a lot of coffee. Yeah, small market, I know. But in the United States, as I was mentioning, is roughly 66% adults. 2 out of 3 adults drink coffee daily.
Mm.
Once, twice, 3 times. I drink 4 times. So anyway, so that's really incredible. And 60%, 63% of the daily coffee drinkers, the average American, consumes just about 3 cups a day, as I mentioned. So the market demand is obviously there. Everything is just unbelievably huge. And then where we come in is with we are in a category that is called functional beverages,
Mm.
which is not just coffee. Because what I just mentioned to you is just coffee. But as it turns out, Rod, that people are like very much looking for different ways, especially as we age. We want more energy. We want to look younger. Why not, right? We want to be able to feel very good.
Mm.
To try to do something more than just drink a cup of coffee. That's all it is. So if you're looking at, the demand is unbelievable, as I just mentioned. And according to a report by Mintel, 43% of coffee drinkers, they said that they'd be interested in a coffee with added benefits like immune support, antioxidants, collagen, etc. And then I'll be touching base on this in just a minute with a video done by AI, of course, as Mark was saying, like that's the world that we live in right now. So the outlook for growth, we're talking about that is projected to grow at a 5.4% through 2030. So if you see this, those are coffee beans. I like that one. I was able, Mike was able to find that picture. I love it because it's coffee beans. So that's really how it's growing. It's growing exponentially with specialty coffee and that has functionality, right? And then something really interesting is that younger consumers, especially Generation Z and millennials, they're even more enthusiastic. About 60% of them report that they will be most likely to choose or drink a functional beverage, especially coffee, if it has wellness goals, if they can look better, all these different things. So in short, roughly 40 to 50% of coffee drinkers, they say that they will consume more coffee if it had extra benefits, if it had more punch, and if it had things that they could actually look forward to getting with consumption over time. So having said that, there is a serious problem, as I just mentioned, and the world is ready for a coffee revolution, Rod. That's really the bottom line, So then we're talking about billions of cups of coffee consumed daily. So then this massive consumption is a staggering billion-dollar market, but then they're looking for something that just gives them more than a fleeting energy kick for like, a couple minutes and that's it, So then here, the reality is that is not enough anymore. And then now I'm going to play a video and then I touch base on some of this in just a moment. But this video, which was done by my partner, said she's the powerhouse behind this. So this is really incredible, what she put together with AI. So let's go ahead and watch. I hope that I guess you can tell me if everything is sounding good and all of that, right? So here we go.
I will. We can't hear you yet. So I think probably you have to close the screen on this and then open the screen where you're showing the video. If it's not in the presentation, then you'll have to just open up a new window for the video.
Got it.
Share
Okay.
that window. Okay.
So yeah, so it's basically YouTube. So I'm gonna close it out, right?
Okay. Yeah, just stop sharing on this and open sharing on that.
Got it. Okay, and now let's go and see. There it is. All right, let's try it again.
There we go.
Okay, so let me know if it's coming up.
Okay, there we go. Now just push play and we can see it.
All right, so then give me a thumbs up when you hear the sound to just make sure that everything is going hunky-dory.
Okay.
All right.
Turn it up a little. And did you share sound on the side?
Yeah.
Oh, it's almost there. Turn it up. Oh, we can't quite hear her. So when you do the share, you should have the ability on the right-hand side of the share button. It should say something about share sound as well.
Let me
Make
see.
sure you click on that.
Okay, let me see here. Special building, Windows Sonic mixture, sound outputs, more volume settings. Maybe that one.
Maybe that will work. I think you might need to unshare the screen one last time. And when you go to share it, it should be some options there for you to include sound. Okay.
Okay, great. Let's see. Want to go to share? Let's try it again. Layout an option. No sound. Where is the sounds? Hold on 1 second. See. Share sound.
Yep.
Yeah, I already had it. So, but it's not. It's not a.
Try it one more. Let's try it one more time. And while we're doing that, let me ask you the question: is this video also up on your storefront?
Yeah, not yet. Not yet, because she just made it like 2 days ago. But it will be.
Awesome. So they'll be able to see it. If we can't pull it off today,
I just keep going. But okay, let me try one more time. Sorry about that. Okay, so here we go. All right, so let's see, should sound, but it's not allowing me. Hang on one second. I see that it says share sound, but it's just not letting me click on it.
Why don't
Not
you
sure.
share the screen? Why don't you share the screen and push play one more time? And if it
Okay.
doesn't work, then we'll go through the rest of your presentation.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, will do. Okay, so I'm sure you can see it now.
Yep.
Okay, so just making sure that everything is on max. It is, and then so here we go. Hopefully. Okay, here we go.
Just cannot hear the sound.
Okay, so I will, never mind.
Let's pause it there and let's go through it
Yeah.
verbally with you and I.
Yeah, let's be respectful to the time. So let me start. Hold on a second. All right,
Yeah.
great. Let me come
While you're
back.
doing that, one of the things I noticed in the picture we were able to see, and I didn't realize this until I started doing research on coffee and how it's grown. I didn't realize that it's actually grown inside of a soft pericarp outer shell, and that the actual bean is inside of that, and that's really incredible. And that the outer
Yes.
shell of the coffee actually has really great properties as well. Anyway, keep going. I don't want to take your presentation.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Okay, so here I'm going to share it now. All right. And so let's see here. Okay, here we go. All right, so you should be able to see the presentation now.
Coming back.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. There we
All
are.
right. So, okay, so just for the record, the video will do it a whole lot better than I do. You didn't know me as a coffee man, when we met, right? And I'm still not. So anyway, next time I can probably bring my partner. She does an amazing job, as you know. So anyway, so what do we really have here? Imagine being able to focus, being able to have better memory recall, being able to have, just be absolute sharp with your mind, clear. This is so important nowadays, as you know, right? Like with so much stuff, at the moment that we get online, there's just a bazillion things happening. So we have a special coffee that does exactly that. I use it every day. Actually, my morning coffee is that coffee, so I can get focused on what the tasks that I have to do for the day. Now, there's another coffee that we have, which is collagen, which don't need to go into that. Everybody knows pretty much what collagen does, but it's really nice because you met Agustina, and she has a beautiful hair already, and she's been drinking this coffee for many months, and then you can even see how in people that have gray hair already becomes even better, and then so this is really good is because a lot of people are looking for better skin, less wrinkles, less puffiness. This coffee does that. Over time you can see the results of what this coffee can do for a youthful appearance, radiant glow. Okay, now we have a coffee that I included here because we're about to do it next week. We're including a new coffee to our Shopee page, and this has to do with a product, Rod, that is called astaxanthin. I know that that's kind of hard to pronounce,
Yep.
but when I started researching what this component does, is really incredible because get this, is not 600 or 1,000, but 6,000 times more potent than vitamin C.
Mm.
It's over 1,000 times more potent than vitamin D. It does incredible things for your vision, and for your heart. It's an incredible supplement that is widely used in Asia, not here, but in Asia, is basically something that they use, especially in Japan. So I know that now, we're going into the Asian market, and you know that I'm super excited to
Yeah.
bring this incredible product line over there because I know that they will just like jump all over it because they're already used to this kind of supplementation over there. Now, but the coffee that I want to talk, more about is our newest coffee to the family is called Specialty NAD Plus with transresveratrol. And this product really does rejuvenation like no other product can. And as a matter of fact, this is trending now, Rod, where there's celebrities or people that go to special places like clinics, and they sit down for hours, and they take they do what is needed to replenish the NAD, but they do it is very expensive. Number one, and number two is through your veins. We found a way, my partner found a way to have a similar result by simply putting into the coffee through nanotechnology NMN. That's what it's called. That's like a precursor for NAD, and that's what she was able to do. So in simple English, when you're drinking this coffee over time, it's like turning back the clock. Because one thing that I learned is that once we turn 25, and then we start aging, then the NAD levels, they start depleting to the point that then that's where people start looking very old, even if they're not that old, is because there's a very serious depletion of this supplement. So here, this will actually turn back the clock. I know that that's kind of like, whoa, but it really, that's what this coffee is meant to do. So basically here, what makes it good, there's many, many different things. You can go to the website. I just want to give you very, very key points here. For example, with the collagen, it promotes firmness on the skin, and obviously youthfulness and radiance. With the memory, as I just mentioned, it promotes focus, clear memory, razor sharp focus. With the astaxanthin that we're bringing on is for overall wellness, and the NAD is for turning back the clock. I just wanted to put it fairly simple as to what can be done here. As a matter of fact, here on the upper right-hand corner, you can see a girl that in 6 months, this is actually not doctor, this is exactly what's happening. That was actually a video. She shows what she looked like 6 months ago, and look at the way that she looks now. There was actually a girl that, honestly, and then I'm going to put this video up on the website for people to see. I thought that she was like fresh out of high school, maybe not even done with high school, right? And she turns out to be almost 30 years old. And she owes this all to NAD. It's really amazing what's happening. So how does success compare? Okay. There's so many different ways to drink your coffee, and there's so many different places. But when we do comparisons, if you go to Starbucks, Rod, you could be easily going in and out for like $5. That's very easy to drop $5 in Starbucks. Will you agree with that?
Well, it's been years since I dropped that little in Starbucks. It's usually
there
way
you
more.
go, exactly, right. And you better not go with friends because they start, hey man, right? So the thing is this, somebody can consume easily $1,000 or more in a year in just coffee, going to Starbucks once a day or like that. So here our coffee, it basically turns out to be around $1.50 for this incredible coffee with supplements, that can do all these different things based on what you like best. But we're talking about that you get some huge savings, and then on top of that, you can make money. And speaking of money, you can turn a predictable profit here for everybody that is an affiliate here. If you want to market this incredible coffee, we are building a lot of tools to do exactly that. And we're loading them up on a regular basis. But then here you can earn between $8 to $10 per bag of coffee. And the coffee is priced right. We're talking about, anywhere $39.95 all the way up to $47.95, depending on the type of coffee that it is. But again, if you average it out, it's about $1.50 to $1.75 per cup that you're drinking, and you're getting all these incredible benefits on top of that, and it's delicious. I know that you tried it. So in closing,
love it.
This is us right here. This is our factory. We're here in Miami, proudly USA, go USA. And then we actually do we do K-Cups. We do all different types of coffee. We do cold coffee in the cans, that's something else that we're going to be bringing over time. as Shopley girls, we wanna grow up with Shopley. So we just very excited to be here. We have product innovation. We have technology available to us for many years already, and like nanotechnology, where we know that after brew, this is very important. I want to make this very clear. Just because other companies say that you get the ingredients or the supplements, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's true, because once you put hot water into the coffee, then chances are that you lose a lot of the power that you're supposed to be getting from the supplements. Here, we guarantee that after brew, Rod, you are getting what we say that you're getting. So if you're getting 9 grams of protein and 10 grams of collagen, you're getting exactly that after brew. So that is very important. And then, we just want people to have the best coffee experience and be able to not only have an incredible coffee that they're just going to love drinking every single day, but start seeing over time all the benefits that come by drinking this coffee. So in closing, our mission statement, I'm just going to read it, is to redefine what coffee can do for your age, your body, your mind, and your life. By blending time-honored craftsmanship with breakthrough science, we're delivering age-defying, performance-enhancing beverages that fuel the body, sharpen the mind, and improve your well-being. And our vision statement is to grow with Shopley to the point that we can see one day millions of coffee lovers replacing their daily coffee ritual with a simple routine that would actually allow them for total transformation. Why drink coffee when you can drink coffee that would actually do so much more for you, and it will be actually less expensive or even free, and on top of that, get paid money for it. So we believe that this is the future of coffee. More people, as they get smarter, they're going to want to look to see what else they can do. So I thank you very much, Rod. It's too bad that we didn't see the video, but we can see it later on, and I'm going to post it on the website. But I'm very excited about this. I'm very excited to be running with you. That's how life is. I love it. I'm just very proud to be representing Shopley through our brand, and I cannot wait for the future that's going to be here. It's here already, but I can only imagine what's going to happen the rest of the year and the years to come. Thank you very much.
Well, George, awesome to have you on the call. Always great to work with you, my friend. While we're on the call, I'm getting texts from people, one from Australia saying, I need this coffee in Australia. So, people are down. People are down for trying it and enjoying all the benefits of it. Folks, I've used this coffee. It's great. I like my coffee super rich. And so sometimes I like to throw this coffee in with a really strong cup as well. But whether you use this standalone or add it to your coffee, it really is an amazing product. And I think the benefits are amazing and very, very desirable. So, George, thank you. And also please say hello to Augustina for us, and thank you as well. And looking forward to seeing you again, folks. This entire recording will be on the Shopley YouTube channel here tomorrow. And the videos that we may have missed for George or others will be on their respective storefronts. And make sure that you reach out directly to George or the other vendors that we're happy to have had on the show today with us. Make sure you reach out to them directly in the messaging center on their storefront. Get your questions asked, and then work this into your business to promote with affiliates and yourselves around the world. So thank you very much.
One thing real quick that
Sure.
I wanted to add, Rod, we're coming up with a promotion for the month of April. So we're like, it's almost out of the oven. So be sure to come and look at our page, and follow us. We really appreciate everything, everything that we can be doing with you. And then, so now we're very excited, and we want to create our own promotions to make sure that, people get to taste our incredible product line and grow with the Shopley community.
That's outstanding, George. Make sure that you and Augustina put a pitch onto the vendor-generated content portion of Telegram so that everyone can see it and they can push it out to their teams as well. So thanks to everyone who joined us tonight. And thank you for all of the members of Shopley that spent their time with us as well. We do this call every Thursday night with 2 or 3 at least new vendors, and that's going to be hard to do coming up soon because the vendors are just growing and growing and growing. But we'll continue with this, and we want to say thank you to everyone who joined us. And this is it. Rod Larson out. We'll see you next week.